I know some of you guys are lying about your budget, which I'll have zip ties on this car, don't worry. She's working on the art for this side. Brakes are kind of rusty, but they'll clean up. Don't ask me, I'm not a professional. Alright, what's going on everybody? It feels like forever, but it really hasn't been that long. We went on the road last week, did power tour, went to Freedom Truck Meet, went to Preble Shawnee football, Pee Wee football, Josh Morganson. They put on a heck of a good show Father's Day. We went and hit that, and I'm back. I've been, what is today? Tuesday. So I've been in the shop Sunday night. I've been in the shop Monday. Sunday night I finished up welding shock brackets. I didn't film it. She was using the phone to edit. Last night I got in here and done some painting. So let me show you what's been going on here. I got started getting it clean. I'm gonna leave obviously it'll be rusty. The truck will be rusty, the camper will be rusty, but I want all this hard work to be saved forever. So I just kind of wiped it all down, nothing crazy, and started painting it. I had tractor weights there, so I got rid of them, and I'm gonna finish painting it. So when I said I had to take the cab off to finish welding, I had made some cab mounts and I couldn't quite get to them. So I just took it off. I got to do something right here. I got to cut that out for my drive shaft and then do something for that. So 4 cab mounts. I'm going to weld 2 more onto the front. I don't know where they need to be, so that's kind of messed up, but we'll figure it out. Got a little bit of welding to do to get it all done. All the shocks are done. Radiator mount is most of the way done. I did get my bottom plate made and U-bolts are in, and my front axle is bolted in. Brand new U-bolts, top plates. So the motor needs to come out when I get a clutch. So I'm going to order the clutch and start getting that in. But let's finish welding up this frame real quick. It's hot here this week. I'm sure it's hot where you're from. Wherever you're at, it's hot everywhere. Got swimming trunks on underneath. So I was worried about being behind, but this is actually, I'm doing good. So once the cab goes back on, that'll probably be the final time I'll be able to start bolting it down. Before I put the cab on, I'm going to run some brake lines to the back. Fuel line I'm not sure about yet. I can run that later. I'll probably weld me a few bolts on the other side so I can put spring or cushion clamps on. So, enough talking. All right, got those welded in. I got some spots up here I didn't get finished, so I'll grab my chair, finish this right here. Burning it in. You like my farmer's tan? You get out there in that pool, but it's never sunny. It's just always hot and cloudy. Now, I've been putting it off, but I got to cut that middle out. No, I got to cut it out, so let's just do it. All right, here we are. All right, before I cut it, we'll weld this in. That's beautiful. That was a little crazy. No, that was the job. You're getting a lot done, just a little bit of time. Put something in that shifter. Let's get a rack for that. Alrighty, we're moving right along. We got a little welding to do up here. I'll be right back. Alright, we got all that welded. We got some other stuff to do. The motor will come out So the stuff inside, there's not much, a few spots. I'll hit that when I take the motor out. But I have these angles here that I picked up at the scrapyard. Anytime I see an angle or a drilled hole or a punched hole, I pick that piece up and bring it home. I find something to use it for. So I just got those tack welded on there. What those would be is, what these would be is an upper shock mount. So you pitch your shock right there out of the way of the steering and everything, the brakes. So I just tacked them on. I got to go over here and fill a few holes in. And I ain't sure if I like them, so I really don't have any other choice, and they'll be strong enough, so I should probably just weld them in, but might have to look at them for a couple days. We'll see. I don't know. The more seconds I think about it, I just want to fill them in. Fire them in. Did I mention it's hot? All right. We got shock brackets, which also may be headlight mounts welded in. We'll clean the tops, flatten the tops out, make those look good. Cap them with something. Give them the old cap. That's it. We're about ready to wipe it down and finish painting it. Got a little grinding to do. All right. We're back. We got the welding done. 99% of the welding is done. Got the piece cut out. Got the piece welded in. Got the cab mounts welded in. I got to paint that. Finish painting the stuff I missed. She just highlighted the serial number with the paint. She's out here working on this. We got the cab off. She's working on the art for this side and laying that out. We got a lot going on. So I'm just going to get some paint out and start finishing up all this. I went and got some brushes. Got the fan on, so you might hear that. But you probably won't hear nothing because I'm going to turn on some music and I'm going to put it on here and I'm going to paint. So you'll be watching it time lapse. Go get yourself a drink, come back. People say they like to watch things get painted, so maybe you'll like it. Still very deep thought, so let's see what's going on with that. But yeah, let's get all the substructure under here painted. Let's go with it. All right, we're back. It's Wednesday. It's hot still, but I ain't complaining. I like the heat. I got a pool right outside the door. So, we got pretty much all in paint. There's some spots I missed, but I got to get over there and I'll get the leaf springs and I'll do the rear ends. It don't have to be perfect. I'm just trying to preserve all the hard work. I got hundreds of hours in this frame and lots of material, so I didn't want it to just rust away silently for the rest of its life. I wanted to preserve it as much as I could. So I was at the parts store today, and I thought I need to get as much stuff done on it as I can before I start trying to get the camper back on it. So I went ahead and picked up some stuff. Got some brake line. Usually I make my own, but I'm in a hurry here. I didn't have this size in stock, so I bought the longest piece I could, second longest piece I could, and I got a union. And I went ahead and picked up a third brake line for an 85 Chevy C30, which is what the rear end came out of. So I'm going to mount that. This screws right into that. And then I'm going to show you how I make mounts. Even though I got the frame painted and boxed, doesn't mean that I'll show you what I do for that. There's really no way to mount anything. There's no place to put any zip ties. There's no place to put anything. And I didn't know where stuff went. So I'm just going to weld a little bolt everywhere. And I got cushion clamps that'll go right on there. So I just started bending this by hand. I thought I better film this before I get too far ahead. And I just fit that by hand perfectly. So I'm going to go around that spring cup, down the frame, down and along. And I'll get as far as I can up to where the cab is. I'm not sure where the master cylinder is going to go. It's under the dash or on the firewall. I'm not sure yet. So I'll just get that run and I'll have me a threaded in I can mess with. And then when I go to put the camper on, brake lines will be done. I have the material to make the small brake lines from the third brake line to each drum. So I'll make those in-house. I should have everything. But that's it. It's hot, so I got to keep moving. Let's get started. I'll show you my tricks, and then you show me yours. All right, got my line here. Started bending that a little earlier. So I want to get me a clamp right here. And I got me some Mega Spray paint finally for the first time out. Don't forget to clean the head of your bolt because there's always oil on there. Just a simple bolt. The leads hang on the bars. Everything I do, they're caught on the bars. Every time I go to move, hung up. All right. So you see I got my line here. Runs up. Got a nice mount to the third brake line. Comes up, turns inside the frame. Got another bolt here. I'm just going to keep doing that as I work my way down. Don't want it really rubbing like right here, so we'll get that up off there. Just try to keep it from rubbing on stuff. Don't have to be a lot. It's just more. Usually got a C-channel frame, and most people just use zip ties, which I'll have zip ties on this car, don't worry. But if I can keep from using them, I will. Another one right here. I buy these little kits at Harbor Freight. Can't beat them, man. They're like $5 or $6. I use them multiple times. Get a bunch of usages out of one kit. You get a whole bunch. She's hot. Let that cool down. It just took a few minutes. Camera says 12 minutes. Got a good brake line. So I'm going to grab a few more tools. I'm going to pull that rear brake line off. Pop up in there. All right. Right here, got the third brake line. I'm going to get that off of here. All right, camera says 2 minutes. It said 12 minutes. Got the third brake line. I have the stuff. What I'll do is I'll get down in there with the stuff. I'll get my cutters. I'll get my kit. I'll get everything. I'll get down in there and I'll make it go in. But I got it run up, clamped right here along. Then I got clamps going down every 18 inches or so. She's not touching anything. That brake line will last forever, just like that. So Simple solutions to big problems. That's what we're in for. And that did it. So what I'm gonna do is I like that setup. So I'm gonna do some more studs down through there for my taillights. I got wiring over there for taillights, and I got some loom. So I'm got the welder fired up. I'm gonna go on the other side, and I'm gonna run my taillight wiring. I know the kit. I know whatever fuse box I get will come with it, but I'm in a hurry. I'll splice them in the cab, make it nice and neat. That way, this is done. This is a build off. I'm trying to mark things off the list. If I got taillight wires running in the back, that's a big thing marked off the list. The camper's already got taillights on it. When it goes back on, we just wire them up. So I'd rather splice it in the cab than have to run a whole new setup. You get what I mean? So the cab's going to go back on, but I want to get my battery cables wherever I need them. I haven't figured that out yet, but I got to get a battery in here, just everything else. So we're moving along. That's all you can do is one thing at a time. But we started with nothing, and now we have a painted chassis, and we're plumbing it. This is plumbing and wiring, and you gotta wait till the house is built before you can start doing plumbing and wiring. So this is fun. I think this is exciting. This might suck for some people, but I also got new brake calipers for the front. We'll get those on tonight too. So I'm gonna set this down and get to work. All right, got my wire here. Wiring for the taillights. That's another thing. Get that done. Once that camper goes on, we're golden. Find some more straps. Next time I got the paintbrush out, I'll reach down there and dab those with some paint. It'll be perfect. Woo! It's hot in here. All right, got the taillights running, rolling through there and back. Got the brake line run to the third brake line, up, around, up to under the cab. And I have this super long piece, but I don't think I'll need it. I'll hold on to it, put it in my stock. Then I may be able to do something with it. But I got to finish up a few studs back here. This is the number one, TM1. I built a lot of stuff, but this first frame I built, so I was tagged it. But yeah, I just gonna get in here and weld a few more bolts on, and then let those cool down. And I'll finish that up. All right, got the. I'm gonna lean down here and talk to you. We got the taillight wires run all the way as far as we can. We got the brake line connected to the third brake line forward. And now we're going to put on the new calipers and brake lines. And as a bonus, I found rubber brake lines left over from the 8-month upgrade. So watch this. Sorry about the fan noise. It's hotter than can be out here. Brakes are kind of rusty, but they'll clean up. I'm not even worried about it. First time we get out and use the brakes, that'll clean off. I'm sure of it. Don't ask me. I'm not a professional. Might as well just buy new calipers these days. $30 a piece. Come with new bolts. Can't hardly beat that. $29 brake pads. 10-bolt Chevy front end. Easiest thing in the world to buy parts for. I don't think the clip really does anything. 5 minutes. That's why I use this front axle instead of using a straight axle on an old car or something. I knew I could work on it, and I knew I could work on the side of the road if I had to. I've been inside a 10-bolt Chevy a lot in my life. It's like that. We got a caliper, good wheel bearings. We got a rubber line. We're moving along now, boys. Man, I was just welding on this thing the other night. Yesterday, I was welding on this, and I painted it. I've been kicking ass, man. Um, I'm happy. I'm just keeping on going. You see the cab out there. Once that cab goes back on, man, game on, and everything's getting finished for once. That's a good feeling. After buying this out of a shed for $700 and slaving all. I started on it January. As soon as they announced, well, whenever they announced the build off, I had it in the garage. I've been working on it ever since. But it's consumed a lot of my life. This is more than just a $5,000 budget build. This is part of my life. This has come out of nowhere. I built this off the top of my head. I couldn't be more proud of what's going on. And let's get back to work. Thanks for following along. And I'm going to make it as bad as I can for each and every one of you, including myself. Thank you. What's going on, everybody? We're back with the rat rod. We're trying to get back in business on that. We've been traveling. We've been working on some other stuff, but it's rat rod time. So I'm not sure where we left off, but I know where we're at right now. We got the frame pretty much mocked up. I think the last video we was installing brake lines, fuel lines. That's probably going to be in this video too, but I wanted to just start fresh and tell you where we're at. We're waiting on the clutch. Clutch should be here tomorrow, which is Monday. As soon as that clutch is here, I can separate them, put it together, put it back together. That should be for the final time. Put the starter on it, start running the wires. But what I do have is the old rat rod cheat code. So I'm going to hide my battery. My battery is right here. Battery's going right there. The bed will be here. This will be in there. Kind of hard to get to. I'm going to put some jumper lugs somewhere. But I went and got the old Harbor Freight. I went for the 20 feet of 2 gauge. $39. And then I had a 20% off coupon. So for like $32, I have plenty of cable here. And what I like to do is just make my cables out of this. I bought some lugs right here. I was at AutoZone, so I got some 2 gauge lugs, and I'll make my own ends. And for $40, you can't do it any cheaper than that. So that's just how it is. And when you buy these, you get this case left over. Pretty nice case. So you can use that for carrying tools in or something like that. Kind of a bonus. But anyways, that's what we're going to do today. It's raining out. It's cooled down a little bit, which I don't mind the heat. It's summertime. Bring on the heat. But we're going to route our positive down through there and clamp it like we did everything else. And we want to get the battery cables run. That way when the clutch gets here, we'll be ready to go. Just gonna go ahead and pull these apart. I'll make a short one for ground from the motor to the frame. Then I already got a short one on the back. I think I just need to move it because it's not reaching. But I bought 4 lugs, so we'll get this off here real quick. Alrighty. That was going to be a real nice set of jumper cables, wasn't it? Just lightly want to score that because that stuff is just strands in there and they're easy to cut. There's no reason to damage your brand new battery cable. I'm going to strip out a little bit more because they're deep. Got that on there just like so. Let me grab my crimping tool. So, I know they make smashers and all that stuff, but I like to use these electrical crimpers that I have. These are from Pro's Kit, made in Taiwan, heavy duty crimping tool. And it's got settings right on the front there. So you can get it. There's a number 2 setting. Just put that baby in there. All right, now that is tight. Let me see if I got any shrink wrap. All right, so Harbor Freight for the win again. Buy these little $5 kits. They got shrink wrap in them, all different sizes. Fits right down on there. All right, just for a few dollars, I got a nice quality end. It's not going to go anywhere. It's crimped on there for life. Now let's see how much we need. All right. We're going to run it down along the frame. We'll put studs just like we did for the other stuff. That's plenty. Yep. So we have enough to reach the starter. And then come along like this. Now just repeat. This time I'm going to stick the shrink wrap on first. It fit over, but just a little easier to put it on first. All right. So I spent $40. I got 20% off, so I got $32 in it. I bought the ends. They were like $5 for 2. So now I have a nice 2 gauge wire going all the way to the front. So what I'll end up doing is making little places to mount that, just like I did for the other stuff. I'll weld little studs on there. Then I can put my cushion clamp right on there. I tried to buy these at at Royal King Harbor Freight, and they were completely out. So when you see these, pick them up because they're hard to get. Apparently, I was buying them up there, and then I went there. I looked all over. I could not find them. I looked in every section. They didn't have any. So good thing come to an end, I guess. But so I'm gonna start mounting that. I'm gonna move my negative battery cable over to where it'll reach. And some other stuff. Let me get that garage door open. It's warm in here already. I have this much left. I could make another one if I wanted. Which I'm gonna need one from the alternator to the back. See if we can make one of those work for the alternator. I don't think so. Nope, just a little bit too short. Well, I have a set of, these are number 10, and I bought these. These were like $19, so I'm going to take this red and use it for my alternator wire. Well, I'm already here. I can strap them together. I'm going to run this number 10 from the alternator all the way to the battery. See if I got ends for that. Basically, same thing. Whack this off. That ain't a good thing to say. Didn't sound that good, did it? Whack this off. I bought these crimpers off Amazon, so if you don't have crimpers, they're not very expensive. Just pick you up some. There's really no reason not to have any. They're so cheap. Now, got her stripped out. put an end on that. Well, make sure I got an end for that. Oh, yes, I do. Got a little extra on that main, but I'm going to leave it there because you never want to cut out the extra. All right, we'll let that cool down. We'll put the last two clamps, and then really the only thing I'll need to do, I got a small fuse block, 14 circuit. I just need to power, and this should come with its own hot wire. I'll run that to the battery. I'm not sure where I'm gonna put the fuse block yet in the truck. Gotta get the body back on and mounted before I can worry about that. So that's that. We made that quick and easy. We crimped the ends. We got shrink tubing on there, so we should never have no problems out in them. Got a nice crimp. The only thing we could have done better is drop some solder down in there, but really I don't know. I'm not going to say it's not necessary, but I didn't do it. So I'm standing behind that. Maybe I'll do it next time. Now I'm thinking I should have done it. I don't know. Can't win. Anyways, that's about that for that. What's next? What's next is this is too short. It's on the wrong side, so I just need to take it loose, move it over. Find another place for that. Life goes on. Here comes that sunshine. Pretty gloomy so far today. First rain we've had in forever. Before a car show, it rained every day, 3 or 4 times, non-stop. Would not quit raining. Since the car show, it's rained like maybe twice. It's crazy. Maybe more than that, but not very much. All right, I'm gonna weld this on to the frame right there. Give ourselves a good ground. All right, we're gonna make a quick negative cable, just like we did. Got these Duralast, got 2 more of these. All right, rat rod battery cable. So for $40, I got battery cables, 20 foot of wire. That's how you do it when you're building rat rods on a budget, especially budget build. I know some of you guys are lying about your budget. I've seen a Hemi so far, and I'll just be honest, you cannot put a Hemi motor in something, an old school Hemi motor in something and be under $5,000 budget. I don't even know who you are, but you can't, okay? I've been around a long time, you can't. So, big block Chevy, dime a dozen. Big block Hemi, 5,000. I got a Cummins 12 out back there I'm not running because I don't want somebody to complain about that I overspent my budget. All right, there we are. Battery cables are done. Now, that's a big step. That's something to mark off the list. That's something you're trying to do on the last night, but at least that's one thing we don't have to worry about. We may have to do some adjusting or they may be in our way, but they're built and they're done. And worst case, if they're in the way, we just take a few bolts out, move them out of the way, do some welding or do whatever we got to do. So that's that for that. That's Tim's tips on how to do stuff on the cheap. You just gotta buy brand new stuff and cut it up. If you ordered a battery relocation kit from Jegs, I haven't looked in a while. You're probably looking at $100, and they send you like 3 foot of black, 12 foot of red. It's hardly enough to do what you want to do. So at least this way you can use 20 foot, you can use 8 or 10 and have the other left over, hang it on the wall. So I'm gonna go on to something else now. What's going on, everybody? I had to take a quick break and go pick up some front tires for old Dick Banjo. So I got 33s on there now on the back, 4 of them. They're boggers, so they measure a little short. But I don't want to. I can't. I had those. Those were free. Those were on my other truck. If I had to buy those for this project, I would. Those are about $400 or $500 a piece, but I had them laying around. but I only had 4. So the front I just got rollers on. Not no more. Look at these bad boys. Dick C-Pack Extreme Country 33 12 50 15. I just so happen to have 2 15-inch 8-lug chrome wheels. So too good to be true. I know it, but if you just wait, those deals will come. Jesus. It's getting ready to make a mess. Here it comes. Oh. You don't want your fingers in that. All right, got one mounted up. Those are gonna be nice. Daggone. Now we're rolling. Let me get the other one done. All right, here we are. We're going to recap what we done on the rat rod, finish this video up. If you're still here, thanks for watching this far. We appreciate every one of you. We've got our, we ran our positive battery cable, got it strapped down. We've got a wire run, number 10 gauge wire run up to the alternator. And we use sets of jumper cables from Harbor Freight. That's the cheapest way to do it. Spring clamps. I have the taillight wires run. I have the rear brake line run. I'm only running rear brakes to the first axle for now. We'll address the other axle later. The other axle's gutted. It was a piece of junk. I probably should have used something else, but I didn't, and it's in there. So it's gutted. We're going to have to grease the bearings good, put the axles back in, and run it. There's not going to be a third member in it, so I'm actually got another set of axles I'm going to cut, just put the plates on. I'm going to grease the wheel bearings like a trailer, and that'll get me going for now. It won't last, but we'll come back, fix that. I got a delivery. Got the clutch here from Jegs, pilot bearing. I bought some new flywheel bolt. Had to buy a big block flywheel, externally balanced. New clutch, pressure plate, throw out bearing. That's probably going in tonight. This is Tuesday, so tonight we're going to put that in. Got my battery all mounted up. I went and found on Marketplace 2 33-inch Dick C-Pack Extreme Countries, and I had 2 15-inch 8-lug wheels. I only had 2. I'll end up probably painting them to match the backs, but I cleaned them up for now. They look good. Front brake lines are on. Calipers are on. Next, once we get the cab on, we'll be set a proportioning valve. Start running brake lines to everything. I have a under firewall master cylinder that goes up under the behind the firewall inside. I'm going to try to run to hide all that. And that's it. Get the clutch in. We'll start getting our drive lines made. And then I'm going to try to make those myself in-house with no special tools. And that's about it. We're just moving along, doing all we can. There's the cab. Cab needs to go back on. As soon as I get this clutch done and measure my drive lines, which can be measured right at this very minute, because nothing will change, write those down on the wall, and then build them, and then I'm ready to put the cab on. I got all the mounts except for the 2 front done, which we'll get to that. But yeah, we're moving along. That's going to do it for this rat rod video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to subscribe so you can be entered to win the $300 Harbor Freight winch. That ends October 31st. You don't have to buy nothing. You just got to stay subscribed. And make sure you stay subscribed, because for some reason, some people get unsubscribed. We haven't figured that out yet. But That's going to do it for this. Jennifer's off busy doing other stuff, so she didn't get in on this. I've just been trying to beat the heat and work on it when I can. I'm getting ready to wrap this video up, go out here and get to work on Chad Boland's Chevy and finish that up. That'll be a wiring video. People say that they don't like to show their wiring because people don't like to watch it. So I'm going to show you some wiring, and we'll see if you like to watch it or not. I like informative videos. I like people who teach me stuff on YouTube. As I progress in my YouTube creations, my taste change in who I watch. I don't really like theatrics and stuff. I'm here to learn what I don't know already. So that's where I'm at with my skill set. It's ever increasing. And if I can learn something by watching somebody else and soak that knowledge in, then that's what I've been trying to do. So if I do anything that you don't know how to do, maybe you soaking that knowledge in too. But I'm just a self-taught mechanic who has a lot of stuff. None of it's any good. Like this, like that, and like that. It's just all beaters, but that's what we like. All right, get to work. We'll see you later. Peace and grease.